My name is Dick Wagoner. I have been a member of Floral Heights Church for 77 years. I love this church. I love the history of this church. I have a very strong sense of family tradition here. My grandparents were in Wichita Falls in 1917. My parents, after they married in 1933, they never belonged to any other church other than this one, and it's been a part of my life. When I was born, my parents lived about 3 blocks down Polk Street, and I can remember as a child that we walked to church, the family did. They decided that Wichita Falls had grown to the point that we needed a second Methodist church. They came out here by marching up 10th Street, singing Marching to Zion. In a very short order, raised the money to build the original 4-story structure. As a child, I had a Sunday school class in every room in that building. I remember the old sanctuary, and there was kind of one pew, about the second one on the right-hand side, that it started at the center aisle with my uncle and his family, and then my father and his family, and other uncles and aunts scattered around us. And I found that very habit-forming. I've been in the second pew on the right-hand side. It is not mine, and I tease people about getting out of my seat, but in fact, if I'm here, this is usually where I am. My wife and I had 4 children. They were all raised in this church. They all went to MYF and Sunday school, and I've been here since the beginning. And I tell all the ministers that come that I'm not a member of their church, that they're the minister at my church. The programs at Floral Heights are many and varied. There really is something here for everybody. Those people that like a large church with all the bells and whistles that have become popular, the mega churches, we are not that. Neither are we the little country church that has an hour and a half, 2 hours on Sunday morning, and then the doors locked the rest of the week. So it's a nice medium-size schedule with programs to meet nearly everybody's needs.
I think Floral Heights being, not the biggest church in Wichita Falls just makes it so much more personable, and especially for someone like me growing up in a small town and a tiny church, much smaller than Floral Heights, it just is so comfortable and welcoming, and it's just such a good fit in that you don't get lost in the crowd, you don't feel overwhelmed. Again, the church that my husband and I went to in Dallas, it was a great church. They had fantastic facilities and great programs, but it was overwhelming, just the number of people, and it was hard to sort of find our place and find a way to get plugged in and involved. And that's not a problem at Floral Heights.
We have been a member of Floral Heights since just after Katie Kane was born. We started visiting Floral Heights while I was pregnant with her, and then the day she was born, Floral Heights flooded us with gifts and just welcomed her and our family. And it was probably within the first 2 weeks of her being born that we actually joined the church. So it's going on 17 years now.
The church has been so instrumental in raising our girls. That's what's been so wonderful about it. I mean, from the moment we walked in the doors, we felt loved. And the moment we brought the girls in, the churches just surround them with love. And the girls have mentioned, they love going to church because they feel like there's people around them that love them and care for them. The ladies in the church, they know us. They know me as the dad of the King girls. So, and it has been. It's the raising up of a family within a Christian environment. It's very important to us.
Basically, we just are just there to just be like, hey, we love you. We're here for you. It's anytime that you need us, we're here. And it's really nice to have that, because a lot of the times in junior high and high school, you have those people that are like, I'm here for you, but really aren't. And these girls are just true to their word, like all the way through. And it's really nice to have that at the end of the day. So.
Produce some really strong bonds. We really care for each other, and I contend that that's what's necessary at most churches of this size. Is you have to find a group that shares an interest with you and become active with that group.
As far as first impressions of Floral Heights, when we came in the first time, it was a little bit confusing about where we should go, because again, there's not necessarily a general entrance that everyone goes into. And so we just sort of wandered in, and there were people gathered in the hall, and thankfully someone came up to us and introduced himself and showed us where the Sunday school rooms were, but it can be confusing.
I was on the part of the leadership of the church, and not long after David became here as the pastor, he gathered the leaders together, a core group of the leaders, and we began discussing the vision of the church. And really, the one thing we talked about is we wanted to be a welcoming church. We wanted to be a church based on family ministries, and we felt like part of that was, in our visioning, was being a welcoming church, having a children's center, and having a welcome center that we're planning on building, where when people come to the church, they know where to come to the church, a place where people can gather. Then off of that, they know that they can look and find the children's ministry center. They can find where the office, the education center is, the sanctuary, and we felt like we were missing that. And so part of that welcoming atmosphere is having that welcome center there.
I think that the children's program part of the building plan, it just does more than just lip service for our goal of being oriented to families and children's ministries, in that it shows that we really are putting priority and emphasis on what happens with our children and their future.
We came up against a tension of having these ministries in the church where we're inviting people, visitors that we don't know, we don't have a lot of control over, into an area that would be just right adjacent to the children, and we knew that wouldn't work. The ministries we have, and we've looked at having, we're actually going to take the food pantry and the breakfast ministry we have on Sunday mornings, and those ministries we have now, and we're going to take them out of the activities building that we have now, and we're going to actually look to building a new building.
The new children's wing in particularly is going to just give us some added security in terms of having all the kids together in one central location. Right now the nursery kids are on the first floor, and then the older kids are somewhat isolated up on the second floor in the Sunday school classes. And so this will give us the ability for all of them to be, age infant and up, to be in one central location, which will make it a lot easier for the staff and the volunteers of the children's program to monitor where all of the kids are at all times. They're not having to transition them between floors and up and down the stairs. And there will be just one central check-in and check-out desk for parents, which will just make it much easier for everyone to know, which kids are there, which kids have left with their parents, and it'll just give everyone a greater peace of mind and sense of security. The entire building plan is just going to be much more efficient in terms of utilities for our church. Right now we're so spread out with our staff members on all different floors. Our kids right now, you have nursery on first floor and then other kids programs happening up on the second floor. And so this new campaign and this new building plan is just really going to consolidate everyone. So during the week, all of our staff will be in one central location on the first floor, and so we'll be able to turn off the lights and air and heat on the other floors, and it will just make it much more energy efficient, and I think we'll see a real savings in our utility bills for the church. I'm Cara Blanco, and I'm blessed to be a family member of this church and congregation, and my family and I are giving to this building campaign, and we would ask that you do the same to give to the future of this great church, Floral Heights.